Some people see grace as something like mercy. Mercy is good in the right context, but grace is radically different from mercy. How is it different? Let's explore that. To experience mercy means someone goes easy on you and does not give you the full weight of the punishment you deserve. If you deserve something, that means you have a relationship based on law and accountability. Mercy then is something you receive when you are under the authority of some kind of law. When you receive grace, you receive something disconnected from what you deserve. This disconnection requires a change in authority. Ponder that. God's grace requires a change in authority. The Apostle Paul makes a surprising statement about grace. He says Christians will not be mastered by sin because they are not under the authority of law, but under the authority of grace. According to Paul, there are two types of authority, law and grace. It seems obvious that law is a type of authority. That understanding comes natural to us because we tend to boss people around with law, rules, or duty to get them to do what we think they should. But have you ever thought of grace as a type of authority? For example, have you ever tried to boss someone around with grace? That doesn't make sense and seems upside down. To boss someone with grace, you must turn grace into some kind of law, rules, or duty. But then it is not grace anymore. Grace is full of surprises because it is God's way of exerting His authority. But since grace is not about bossing, we do not see it as an authority. We tend to see it as freedom from authority, as freedom from control. But there is no such thing as freedom from authority because God always exerts authority. Law and grace are the two inescapable options in life for authority and control. Admit it, you want to be in control and you want to use law to do it. In contrast, Jesus Christ, the King of the universe, reigns in omnipotent grace from the cross. The cross was a place of greatest shame, but Christ transformed it into the place of greatest glory, authority, and power by dying in our place to be our substitute. The cross reveals grace to mean the substitution of Christ, the Spirit of Christ, the presence of Christ, the authority of Christ, and the power of Christ. Grace does not mean mercy. Will you experience the authority of the presence of Christ in His substitution to thrive and do good, or will you look to some rules, law, or duty? Paul says the law is good, but also the law is the power of sin. Have you discovered the fact that your every evil thought and action result from you using the authority of law instead of the authority of grace, which is the substitution of Christ? Every year I lead hundreds of Christians and Mormons to experience and notice the difference. Paul says he never sets aside grace, and these people agree. They also agree that means they should always measure by Christ and remember His sin-bearing death. In surprise or in shock, they say that while impatient, they were not using grace but rather law. They add that if they considered grace, they would not get impatient. That is power. Christ's substitution or your way of law, which is it?